Hi everybody, welcome back to the cave. How are you doing? I hope you're all keeping safe. I hope you're all keeping well, remaining indoors, washing your hands and all that stuff that we got to do at the moment, and should be washing your hands anyway, let's face it. Anybody who's saying right now, oh, I didn't know I had to wash my hands to keep well, yeah, you need to wash your hands to keep well, and you always kind of did, so keep doing it. I hope everybody's okay and dealing with things as best they can. It's a weird time, I know, but I'm going to keep busy, and I'm going to try and help us all through it, including myself, by keeping busy. So podcasts keeping going, where we're going to be doing lots of good podcasts in the future on Back to the 80s, so please do have a look at those. I'm going to be keeping the Back to the 80s and the Cymru Nerd Cave pages and all that kind of good stuff going as well. And I'm also going to be baking more videos. I'm going to be making more videos as well. I don't think I'm going to be baking. I don't think that's a good idea. No one needs that from me. I do have some new subscribers, so thank you to all the new subscribers that have come on board. Yeah, just let's get through it all as best we can with the nostalgic feels, and to that end I am going to have a look at these today. Now these are not two annuals, these are one annual. You've got a hardback annual and a softback annual, both pretty much the same inside, but they're both from 1984 annuals. And they're obviously Masters of the Universe. So let's away and have a look at these two right now. Okay, so here we have two versions of the same book. I'll pop them up side by side so you can have a look. So we've got here the floppy softcover version, and here we've got the one I guess that most people would have had at this point, which is the hardback version. We'll have a quick look at the softback version first. So yeah, it doesn't really come with anything. It's just a soft version. Doesn't even come with a price, I don't think. No price there. But it's exactly the same inside as the hardbook copy. It's got various lovely pages in. But we'll leave that one because we'll have a look at the one, like I say, I'm guessing most people will have had, which is this version. Masters of the Universe Annual. Lovely. Bring it forward a bit, there you go. So that is such an evocative logo. Not centered right though, so it's winding me up. But yeah, such an evocative logo of my childhood, certainly, and I'm guessing anybody who was around in the early 80s will find this very, very nostalgic and will give them the feels, as they say these days. Lovely stuff. This picture is ace as well. Bring it back. So you've got various characters from the first wave. Obviously you've got your He-Man, you've got your Merman, you've got your Zodak there, who at that point was an evil guy as well. Stratos, who originally was evil as well, was classed as an evil warrior. You got Man-at-Arms, Ram Man there, Man-E-Faces, He-Man at the back there again, and then Faker, and then down there I think Triclops and Skeletor. You can just see Skeletor's arm just there, and that's, I'm guessing, Triclops and Beastman's in there somewhere. And obviously Castle Grayskull. Now that was the Castle Grayskull, as far as I'm aware, that was sculpted by Mark Taylor because he was sick to death of people not getting it. He was explaining what he thought Castle Grayskull should look like, and they're going, oh yes, like this then. He said, no. I think his main thing was that it should be sort of kind of irregular and asymmetrical, and people weren't getting that, so he just did it himself. And these various toys aren't production toys. They are the prototypes, effectively, that they're used to sell them to the Mattel executives and show them in a 3D render rather than pictures only. So like it's obviously drawn pictures. That this is what the toy line would look like, effectively, and that's what they sold it. Back of the book is the front of the book, basically, just without a big He-Man there. Obviously you've got your lovely Master of the Universe logo, and you've got your ISBN. Let's have a look inside and see what this holds. Well, first off, you've got a really, really lovely spread there. Of you got Skeletor. Again, these are all not production toys. These are before they went into production. So you got Skeletor with the backs of his legs not painted in there because it's not production. Teela, or the goddess, as I suppose she would have been known then. The big picture of He-Man and what inside Castle Grayskull would look like to save cost, to save money. They've got all the printed things and the stickers rather than they are detailed inside. And you've got the chair with the trapdoor. And the obviously I forget what that's called, but it's the fighting machine, and you've got all the weapons on the weapons rack and whatnot. Great stuff. And it is, or would have been back in 1984, £2.75, which was a lot of money back then. You know, it's a lot of money now, really. Very quickly inside, so you've got all this lovely sort of production artwork again to sell it to the executives. Oh, look, that one especially is very evocative of my childhood. I think that's on the back of one of the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe records that you could get. And it says here, copyright 1983 by World. World obviously did loads of annuals, so loads of different franchises. 1983 means this would have been a 1984 annual then, which kind of makes sense. And then you've got lovely things about our warriors, who they are, and you know, sort of like a battle bestiary almost. So you've got Teela. So it says, we are on the planet Eternia, King Miro, and Queen Marlena. Yep, not Randor yet. They've got one son, Prince Adam. That's a lie. But they didn't know that at this point. So you've got Teela, daughter of Malatam's leader of the guards. She's every bit as deadly in battle as her father. And it also says that she is falling in love with somebody else. Not Prince Adam, who Man-at-Arms is apparently trying to get her to be with. She's fallen in love with He-Man. So they've Lois Laned her, basically. Which they did in the Filmation show as well. But, yeah, I was never that much of a fan of that. But there you go, never mind. Man-at-Arms, obviously. So are the Falcon and He-Man. Always love a bit of that. And he basically tells the story in these bits of He-Man and all his various friends. Stratos there, who at this point is a good guy, but like I say, originally was supposed to be a bad guy. Ram Man, Many Faces, who only showing the one face because they would have only had the one face. And Zodak, the Cosmic Enforcer, again, it was supposed to be evil when he actually brought him out as a toy, and then was supposed to be sort of unaligned, neutral. Yeah, didn't last. He was always a good guy in the cartoon, I think. And then you've got the evil warriors. Lovely stuff. Skeletor, Beastman, Merman, and Evelyn, who's golden in this. She's not just yellow, she's golden. Obviously, for those who are in the know, Skeletor's crew was supposed to be effectively kidnapped by him on Infinita and then mutated into the forms that we see them in. So Beastman was supposed to be sort of like a jock, an aggressive jock called Biff Beastman, who had an affinity for animals. And then Evelyn was Evelyn something. They're all on the same ship as Marlena Glenn, effectively, who became Queen Marlena. I can't remember if Merman... No, Merman wasn't part of that lot. It was Triclops was the other guy. But obviously Merman, very important in the show. Trapjaw as well. Let's show him in all his glory, because he is the man. Triclops, who is one of my personal favourites. I always liked Triclops. And then a very shiny, very, very blue and extremely orange Faker. So, yeah. And then, one of the things I love about world distribution, and one of the things that is actually really bad about them, is the stories. Because the stories are always written by, I'm guessing, staff writers who worked for World and they never got credit for anything they did. I guess they barely got paid. But you never find out who writes them. And they're always really vague. Or really go back to the very, very early times of the Bible, because that's all they would have had. So they never get things quite right. And they did this a lot with things like Doctor Who, where the companions were never the right companions for the trip. Or that he travelled without companions and they were just old friends that you'd never heard of. That kind of thing. But yeah, this one's called The Traveller. And it's basically about a kid who's kept as a slave, and Skeletor tries to buy him and use him, and Prince Adam tries freeing him. It turns out he's quite an important guy. and has powers and Skeletor. But the artwork's really good. The story's bobbins, because they all are. But interesting to know, Prince Adam isn't wearing the Filmation costume at this point. He's wearing effectively what he wore in DC Comics in the early days. And Skeletor, again, much scarier in the comics than he ever was in Filmation. And the face certainly bears that out. He's got a really horrible set of teeth. Nice picture of the Wind Raider there with He-Man and the Traveller. And Teela with her hair not up. Teela has her hair down. Like she kind of was portrayed a lot in the early sort of days, until Filmation got it, turned her into a redhead and had her hair up all the time. And He-Man is He-Man. Lovely stuff. Another sort of signifier of World was that they would cheap out on the colouring. So the colouring would be in full colour at the start of the book, in the middle of the book, and the majority of the book you'd find them in reds and blues because it was cheaper. Again, Skeletor, very scary though. And He-Man actually looks like he's slapping Triclops around, which is something you never really saw. Mattel didn't like He-Man to be hitting people, which is a shame because, you know, that's kind of what he does. Orko and Teela in a snake armor, which you never saw in the cartoon, so it was always nice. Again, this is all about a shrine in the Iron Mountains. Again, sorry, not important. Bobbins. Oh yeah, the other thing is it's not Orko. See if I can find a part there here. Look. So, looking wildly around for Adam and Gorpo, because his name was Gorpo, changed to Orko by Filmation because it was more, well, it's easier to animate an O on his tunic there rather than a G, because O's just one symmetrical shape. You could flip it around and all that kind of good stuff. Good artwork of Stratos. Again, uncredited, don't know who did this. I'm sure there's somebody out there who's a connoisseur of world distribution. Really nice picture of He-Man and Skeletor there. The early days really got Skeletor right. They got him scary. And I really like that. That's quite a good picture, especially Skeletor's face. Look at it. And they don't mess it around with red or anything like that. It's bone white. Brilliant stuff. Again, story changes, but the artwork doesn't. The artwork stays red, but with a really nice picture of Manny Faces there in his monster guise. Always a tragic figure, Manny Faces, I found. And they never really capitalised on it that much, and they kind of should have done. Trapjaw there, with Teela and Skeletor again looking very scary. Gorpo again. Throughout the whole book he's called Gorpo. Now then, is that He-Man or is that Faker? Well, it's Faker, isn't it? Because he's got Skeletor's armour on. You can't tell because the artwork, sorry, the colours are red and not blue and whatnot. But it's definitely him because he's got Skeletor's armour on. That's something you never see. Skeletor shooting a guy, but he does. I'm guessing he's stunning Prince Adam, but at the end of the day, still shooting. This is a weird one. Look at this. So half of it, on the left-hand side, red, and then they decide not to cheap out on the second half. I'm guessing because you got He-Man and Faker, but I'm guessing maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, Faker looks really good there. Really nice. And again, it's that really vibrant blue and orange because the only pictures they've got to go off are the production ones. Now then, in the middle here, we get some lovely pictures of the Wind Raider and the Battle Ram and the Attack Track. Again, production ones, although these are after the fact, I think. These are actually ones as the toy line is commencing. But really, really nice all the same. I do love the Attack Track. He's nothing like he is in the show. Obviously, in the show, he's a big blue box, effectively, with Lou Scheimer's sarcastic voice. But in this, no. I also kind of want the Mega Construx version of this, because it's really nice. And Wind Raider, because, you know, Wind Raider. The money's kicked back in, lads. They put the 50p in the meter. So everything's in colour again. Queen Marlena. This, obviously, again, this is the DC Comics version of the characters, really, because they're more medieval with the Disney castle in the background there rather than the Filmation Eternos City. and everything in DC was a bit more sort of medieval than it was. It was sort of for scientific-y, future-y medieval in Filmation. Lovely picture there of something that never happens in the show. Battlecat very rarely goes into battle, and he only fights Panther like twice in the show, which I always feel a bit short-changed on, but there you go. More lovely artwork there of Adam and his mum, and then He-Man going to Castle Grayskull. In the early days, in various media, you always find Castle Grayskull in the middle of fucking nowhere, just in a desert with nothing around it. In Filmation, obviously, you had it on that bone bridge, and then in various other things like the Ladybird books, I think it was in the middle of a forest, in the middle of the evergreen forest. But not in here. It's just in the middle of nowhere, right where anybody can get it. But the idea is that nobody cared about Castle Grayskull. It was just this thing that people just went, ugh, that's horrible, let's keep away. Little did they know it was the Palace of Wisdom, or formerly the erstwhile Palace of Winston Passive, whatever. Picture of He-Man, Teela and Battlecat, lovely stuff. Great picture of Skeletor with the power sword, because obviously he had his own half of the power sword in the early continuities, and He-Man on a throne of Grayskull, I'm guessing. Again, the stories don't matter, they're not great, and they're not in any kind of continuity, but the artwork's always really nice. It's always lovely to see it. And again, if you really want to read the stories, buy them, they're online. I mean, you go to eBay and loads of people are selling them. Lodestone of Iron Forest, evil in there, with normal colour skin. Yellow skin, not great, if we're being honest. Or the jaundice skin, so that they kind of just made a flesh coloured, I guess. Lodestone there, Skeletor again with that scary ass face. Oh, I love it so much. Not the green though, no green around his face like he had on the toys. Seven Dwarfs and Snow White there. It's not Snow White, the Seven Dwarfs, but it kind of looks like it. Again, I think it's evil then. I think it's very similar to Jacob and the Widgets. And again, Teela with her hair down. Why? That's a really nice look for Teela. I really like that look. She looks good. And there, some more lovely artwork. And they forgot to put the bunny in the meter again. So Man at Arms fighting He-Man. Very much like She-Demon of Phantos. Love that picture. If someone could do a full colour picture of that picture, Skeletor, really nice. So and the artwork quality is really good, and you will find that it's similar to artwork in any world distribution annual because it's the same artist. I would posit, I don't know if I'm right on this one, I would posit they're probably South American artists. They did do a lot of that in 2000 AD in the early days. There were a lot of Argentinian and sort of Brazilian artists that they used. But Argentina especially, there's loads of them that we used before the unpleasantness that we had in the early 80s, which was unfair on everybody, especially the Argentinians, but there you go. Coming to the end now. The Crown of Tarn. So a really nice picture of Teela, Prince Adam, sorry, and Cringer. And there's King Miro and Queen Marlena. King Miro. I wonder why they changed that. I quite like that. I guess it's too Lord of the Ringsy. Again, just generic picture of He-Man there with some people and again a Disney style castle, because that's what they didn't have that sort of future style castle that they had in Filmation yet, because it was just coming out, was the Filmation cartoon. Later annuals you will see much more Filmation influence, and we will look at those another time. He-Man and some palace guards there. Again, palace guards, medieval looking, Norman looking. I love this picture. Skeletor clearly in the sea with a crown. And with no context at all. I love it. I think it's great. Merman and Teela again. Merman again looking very much like his toy, which you never saw in the Filmation cartoon. And Battlecat attacking someone. The Queen. Not Queen Marlena, obviously, another Queen. Queen Amaxa, apparently. I read it on there. Don't have a clue what that's about. And He-Man and Skeletor fighting in a swamp. And the last words in the annual that are spoken, He-Man nodded. It's very easy for a monarch to speak for his or herself, but to have enough support from a country to be able to say us at a time like this me is the sign of a truly noble ruler. You don't need magic in your crown, Queen Amaxa. The Queen smiled. Perhaps not, she said, and placed the crown back on her head. Bye for now. End of the story. And then someone's done in this annual, the previous owner's done something I really, really hate. And they've drawn in it. Oh, some really nice artwork. That is stock artwork that they used a lot of Castle Grayskull. That was on the back of the Spot records, or the Kid Stuff record. Skeletor again, really nice. These two pictures, this one and this one, were on all the He-Man stationery, if I'm not mistaken. But really, really nice stuff. It's a shame some little turds drawn on it. And no, I wouldn't have done that when I was a kid. Come on now, you've seen how I treat my toys. And that is the annual. So that's the 1984 annual. We will be going into these and having a look at them intermittently, because I think it's worth it. I think they're really nice and they're lovely things to have. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you go on eBay and buy these when we're able to again. And I hope you enjoy some Masters of the Universe goodness from back in the day. I'm cymrunerdcave. If you do want to subscribe, please subscribe. It's always nice. I'll keep putting out loads of videos during this unpleasantness, and let's get it through it together with nostalgic feels. Please comment, please rate, please do subscribe. I'll be back again very, very soon. In the meantime, do take care of yourselves, each other. Remain indoors and wash your hands. Bye-bye for now.